ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಸುಂದರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಸುಂದರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಸುಂದರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಸುಂದರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಭಕ್ತ ಹೃದಯ ಮಂದಾರ ಭಾನುಕೋಟಿ ಸುಂದರ.
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 ನಂದ ನಂದ ಗೋಪ ವೃಂದ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
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 ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ವನಮಾಲಿ ರಾಧಾರಮಣ ಗಿರಿಧಾರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಸುಂದರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನೀಲಮೇಘ ಸುಂದರ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ಹರಿನಾರಾಯಣ ಗೋವಿಂದ.
ನಾರಾಯಣ 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 ಗೋವಿಂದ.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We have seen yesterday the 725th name of the Lord. We'll continue after that. So please repeat the shloka after me. Eko naikasavah kakkim yattad padamanuttamam lokabandhur lokanatho madhavo bhaktavatsalah. Yesterday we saw Ekaha. Ekaha. He is that solitary. Don't interpret it as lonely. There is nothing other than that Paramatma Tattva, whether it is Vyakta Swarupa or Avyakta Swarupa, manifest or unmanifest. Even in the manifest, every format of expression is that Paramatma alone. And he does not have any kind of Sajatiya, Vijatiya, or even Swagata Bheda. He is that unfragmented, homogeneous expression of consciousness. We have different levels of fragmentation in our existence, but he is homogeneous and unfragmented. Ekaha. And as in the Chandogya, we hear Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma, one without a second. There is nothing other than one without a second. Because even those, when we live, we know that I am the only one living. Often we hear people say, oh, I am so scared to live alone. What are you scared of? Oh, Baba, I can't live very alone. Alone, I can't live. It's scary. So I tell them, please do not look into the mirror. You will not be scared. Swamiji, you always take everything in jokes. I'm serious. See, the fear is not being alone. The fear is because I am alone, there can be somebody other than me making benefit of my being alone, and that otherness is what I am scared of. Therefore, the Upanishad also says, Dvayat bhayam bhavati. that wherever there is more than one, that in itself is the cause for insecurity or fear. So whenever Shakespeare in his comedies, comedy meaning that which is ending in a good tone, thus they married and lived happily ever after. That is his last sentence. So I used to always feel, अभी तो कहानी शुरू हुई है. The story has actually started now, because there is now 1 plus 1, and wherever there is 1 plus 1, there is always stories. Wherever there is more than one entity, it's going to be always a chaos, because it is the cause for all kinds of insecurities. Dvayat bhayam bhavati. Now continuing. Nai kaha. So Bhishma ji is like, Baba, I told you he is ekaha, but then don't think that that is his definition. He is also that who is na ekaha. The one who is not just one. So you may ask, Bhishma ji, decide. Ek hai ki anek hai? So here, Adi Shankaracharya ji says, Mayaya bahurupatvat naikaha. Through his Maya Shakti. And when people talk about Maya Shakti, they say transcending Maya Shakti. No, you cannot transcend Maya Shakti. You have to surrender to Maya Shakti. It is impossible to transcend Maya Shakti. You have to surrender. And that Maya Shakti is an integral aspect of that Parabrahma Paramatma. Inseparable aspect of Parabrahma Paramatma. Usually her Shaktis are put in 3 categories. We have already seen on the first day itself. Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and then Kriya Shakti. And with these Shaktis, that which was one can always express himself and expand himself into multiple formats. In the old temples in southern India, there is one particular part wherein it is called the Shayana Griha of the Lord. So the last upachara at the day is done. The Mangala Charana is chanted, and then the Utsav Vigraha is taken into that Shayana Griha. That Shayana Griha, during the day times we can visit. It has got lots of mirrors. Now when you go, and there are lots of mirrors, how many of you see? Infinite. One reflects here and that reflects there. You plus that reflection reflects there, and that reflection reflects somewhere else, and that reflects. Is it like a slow process that there is first one reflection and then there is 2 reflections, then the 2 multiply become 4 reflections? Because whenever we talk about creation, we always think about it in the format of singularity, that there was first one created, and from the first one there was multiplication beginning. When you dream, in your dreams, is there a sequence of order that first inanimate aspects of your dream are projected, then slowly lesser evolved sentiency is introduced, then all the other higher evolved sentiency is introduced, then you enter your Rangamanch, Ranga Pravesham. Every day each one of us does a Arangetram in our dream. Is there a sequential order? Or all of this opens up with all of these aspects already in there, projected right from the moment go. So when he becomes multiple, it is not that it started with one. There is no limitation. He can become as many forms as possible. Therefore, there is no limitation of number of jivas. Because that is a borrowed concept. That is not a concept of our Vaidika Dharma. There is no, what do you call, net aggregate number of souls. He can become as many times folds. There is no limitation for it. In the ocean, at any given point of time, how many waves can exist? If we request the UN, because it does a lot of good, but sometimes redundant work also, ask them to do this redundant work. Can you go count how many number of waves across all oceans, across all the seas in the world? Right away, what is the answer that comes into your mind? A lot is not an answer, because it is infinite. At any given moment, the net water level, the water content, it doesn't get distracted, disturbed, or reduced by the number of waves that go up or the number of waves that come and merge back. That remains the same. So there is no absoluteness of a number that these are the number of souls that are to be born. They are also infinite. So it is his potentiality which is infinite, which is expressing. So never assume that his potential will get reduced. What will happen if one day there will be no resources, one day there will be no children produced? Somebody asked me after a very fiery talk, if everybody gives up and everybody becomes like you, being like a sannyasi, then what will happen to this world and its creation? Ye to hone se raha. It is not something that is going to happen. Isn't it? So let's not assume of things which are limiting in any way. Because his Maya Shakti is also very, very powerful and infinite of his nature. So with that, he becomes many, he becomes plenty, unlimited formats. Even that our rishis have identified. How many number of species that he expresses in? 8.4 million species. And within each species the number is not capped, unless the human being becomes extremely greedy and drives a species into extinction. Were there any such in the recent past? Those, what do you call them? The wild bulls in the US, bison, wolves, that we have, I mean, in our own recent past, that we have driven it to almost extinction. Tigers, leopards, cheetahs, lions, we have been like killing them rampantly. They almost come to a point wherein they are in few hundreds. Give them an environment and they'll start thriving. And there is no limitation for that also. So Nai Kaha, that he is one without a second, who has immense capacity to, infinite capacity to express in multiple forms as his own being extension. Continuing. Somaha, sorry, not Somaha, Savaha. Savaha, Somaha, yatra abhibhushayate, saha advaraha, Savaha. Wherever there is this Soma Yajna, Soma Yajna performed, in that Soma Yajna, Bhagavan appears as this Savaha. Now, what does this mean? There are many who go into describing this Soma Yajna as a Soma plant, herb, which has got some kind of intoxicating intrinsic value, and that is offered into the yaga. But Soma Yaga, I'm trying to remember which Mahatma tried to explain this to. Soma Yaga, he put it in a very different format altogether. Soma Yaga is a Nitya Yaga. And it has been happening since eternity. Soma means what? Another meaning of Soma is the moon. In Ayurveda, they firmly believe that the plants, as much as they require the sun for its photosynthesis, equally it requires the moon's radiation or radiance, illumination, for it to develop its herbal qualities. In fact, there are certain plants which have the twigs or the leaves, they are plucked, the herbs are taken, and they are to be dried to 3 cycles of full moon, that they have to be exposed to that full moon to have its maximum capacity of herbal qualities. As much as sun is required for photosynthesis, the entire plant kingdom requires this Soma. So what is Soma Yaga, Savaha? That it is that the Lord also does moonlighting. That which happens with that presence of moon. And how does he express Savaha? Savaha as the Aushadha Guna. Aushadha Guna, that whenever you fall sick, there are people that will give you, isko nuska bolte hain, those quick home remedies. Like I have been coughing throughout. So yesterday after the lecture, somebody said Doodh and Haldi. Somebody said the turmeric and then the ginger and then black pepper and honey. I already got, what do you call them? Huh, I know the brand name, but I'm talking about the lozenges, cough drops. So I was a little worried when he gave me that. So I'll take it. He said it will numb your throat. Said if it numbs my throat and I'm not able to speak, then it is no good. No, it is proven. I'm already having it, and my vocal cords have not become numb. Then you might say, it will be as good as your other lectures, Swamiji. किसी को बहुत अच्छा लगा ये. So that is one meaning, that he is the one who comes in the form of aushadha. There is not one thing that is not added into the kitchen list which does not have that aushadha guna. So the first YAP course that I was taking, the group of doctors here says, Swamiji, you'll be alone in that redwood forest, so away from the doctor. You should have these immediate medication that you can give for somebody for diarrhea or somebody for constipation or this and that. I said, that I'm not worried. It's only the extreme cases if something were to happen. That I'm worried about. Because if somebody were to have loose motions, the best is take a spoon of methi seeds with a glass of buttermilk. Within an hour and a half, everything is plugged in. So to understand that it has that kind of a medicinal impact. There's one thing that while growing up kids don't like drinking is the gripe water. Have you ever heard of it? Gripe water. What is it made of? It is made up of ajwain. So you roast it, boil it, and filter it. That becomes gripe water. It takes away, it kills all the bugs in the stomach and clears the stomach. So whatever is the problem with the child in the stomach, which only the mothers can understand. Usually the fathers will pick it and say, "Pata nahi kyon ro raha hai? Dekh." The poor kid has only one means, whether it is an ant biting or stomach aching or a discomfort or anything. What kind of crying is that? Only a mother can decipher. Accordingly, different kinds of medicines. All these medicinal. And if you ask Adi Shankaracharya ji, he'll say that hunger is also a disease. Kshud vyadhi. Kshud vyadhischa chikitsyatam. Pratidinam bhiksha ushadam bhujyatam. And how do you cure that vyadhi of hunger? Give it 3 times a meal. Bhiksha ushadam. The aushadhi is bhiksha. Eat food, and that is also a medicine. So when I keep telling people that just because you like Benadryl, you can't keep drinking it. It has to be taken in doses according to the prescription. Similarly, this one, 3 times a day. Not every time you sit for eating. It is 3 different times in a day, 3 times, once a meal. In all these formats, that who is expressing as the medicine, he is that Bhagavan. Sa also means the one who destroys. Va means the one who lives within. For all these kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, all these kinds of irregularities of the mind, who do we have to take refuge? Tameva sharanam gaccha. Take refuge of that one who is dwelling inside. He is the one who destroys all these things. Knowledge of that self within destroys all these aberrations of our mind. Therefore also he is called Savaha. Eko naikaha Savaha. My next two favorite words. Ka and Kim. So we can name Kaha Kim Sharma. Who what Sharma? No. Both of them are the names of Bhagavan Vishnu. The letter Ka, what does it say? Ka shabdaha sukhavachakaha tena stuyate iti kaha. The word ka shabda, sukhavachakaha. Ka means sukha. Opposite of it is aka. And the swarga therefore is called nakam. Don't try to read it through Hindi. Nakam. No. Ka is sukha. Aka is dukkha. That which is beyond all these dualities is nakam. Where does it come? Parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibhrajate yat yatayo vishanti. So there, when it says nakam, it means this which is beyond the duality. Ka shabda sukha vachakaha. Tena stuyate iti kaha. And in order to praise that, here it is said as kaha. The Shruti also says that kam means that Brahman. Kam Brahma iti Shrutehe. Kam means that which is Brahman. It is not an English word. Come. My mind is going all over the place right now with this word. Probably in the American language, when they say, wanna come? Do you want to come? But that who you are inviting is a Tamilian. So you would say, wanna come? Wanna come is salutations. So it started with come, went to wanna come, then to wanna come. So my mind was going all over the place. Okay. Kaha means that which is the nature of happiness. Kim sarva purushartha rupatvat brahma eva vicharyam iti brahma kim. That which is the essence of all purusharthas, Therefore, that which we inquire as with the question, what? Kimartham, meaning what for? And the child says, Mommy, can I have this? And I want to ask, what for? Why? Sometimes being with the kids, you hear these innocently silly jokes. So one kid was telling a baby kitten, wanted to come in. And it said to the mother cat, meow. And the mother cat said, kyong. Kimartham, what for? What is the essence of human life? What is the reason why we do what we do? What is the purpose of this Purushartha? Why am I trying to live a dharmic life? Why am I acquiring this wealth, artha? What is the purpose achieved by fulfilling these desires? So we keep telling people, kids especially, saying, have a passion in life and apply yourself to that passion. Recently I had gone back to India and I was reading my own diary notes. So one thing that struck in that fellow at that age, it surprised me that he was quite intelligent at that time. And one of the logics there was that we are constantly told to pursue a profession, a passion, fulfill a certain desire. But why is it a necessity to fulfill a desire? What is the purpose? That which is inquired thoroughly to reach to the ultimate. That which is questioned through. Until we understand, until we grasp, until we know that it is my own true nature. Constant inquiry with the question as to what? What is that tattva? What is that essence? What is that purposefulness? Constantly that which is pointed towards even through this question as Kim. Therefore, that Kim also becomes the Suchaka of that Paramatma alone, a pointer towards that ultimate alone. Kim, what? If the North Koreans were to learn Sanskritam, bawal mat jayega. If you ask, hey Kim karoti? Natu pruchhatu. Tvam kevala kim karaha. You are just a person who has to, a gopher. Kinkara, the one who is constantly ready to ask, what should I do to please you? Isn't that what our pursuit is? And we start with that question. What is it in for me? Kim. Though ultimately what we are all searching is that supreme alone, which starts with this question. Therefore, that becomes the pointer to that Paramatma alone. Okay. The next word is, or the next name of the Lord is a pronoun. Yat. If you go back to the shloka, in that shloka, Yat tat padam anuttamam. So there are three words there, three names. Yat and tat. Yat shabdena swataha siddha vastu uddeshya vachina brahma nirdeshyate iti brahma yat. What does yat mean? Yat means that which. A pronoun which means which. W-I-C-H. W-H-I-C-H. Did I miss a H? W-H-I-C-H. So the Shruti also, in explaining this, is Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha Yato va imani bhutani jayante. So there's the word yat. That from which. Who is this which? See, when there is no entity, there is no form, rupa, guna, akara. You can only refer to it as that which is the source. So that which is referred to with the word which, yata, also becomes the name of the Lord. So if you like the rhythm of it, kah kim yat tat, kah kim yat tat, that is also a mantra. Because yat also is a suchaka of that Lord alone. And then, until it becomes our experience, yat, that which is the source, is referred to with the other word as that. Therefore, it is also known as tat. Therefore, it becomes the very Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi. Once you understand it, then you can say, Yat Aham Asmi. That which is pointed as that alone is the cause of this consciousness alone. And in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Om Tatsaditi Nirdeshyaha Brahmanastrividasmataha Om Tat Sat Iti. This is not the end statement. When in every chapter it says Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su. No, we are not talking about that. It says, I think it comes in the 17th or 16th. In the 17th chapter. There he says that whenever you do anything, how do we sanctify our actions? By constantly remembering Om Tat Sat. Therefore, Gurudev, after the whole pledge, he has included Om Tat Sat. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat. To sanctify that oath. That which is referred to as that. Therefore, that becomes the very name of that. Sometimes I get forgetful of the names. You know, that person, the younger group, the chicks, oh, that I got, that I understood. When I explained it, oh, that I got. That which I have in my mind, they are also referring to that person as that. That also indicates a certain distance, that it is not yet my personal experience yet. It depends. That moon, this earth. That India, this US. That Washington, this Dallas. That North Dallas and this Irving. That door and this stage. That computer and this mouthpiece. That always shows the distance, separateness, that it is far away, not yet experienced. That's why we all refer to that God, that Paramatma. When you are referring to yourself, how would you refer to? I, this. That Swami Sarveshananda. No. It is this Swami Sarveshananda. I am this. Because this is my immediate knowledge, immediate experience. That which is not yet, I refer to with a distance called that. That Paramatma. Therefore, even in the Vishleshana, we say the Ishvara is referred as that because it is not an experience yet. And through this Vishleshana of the Atma Vichara, Tvam Vichara, you find that oneness and abide in that oneness, Asi. So that which is referred to as that, therefore known as that, is Tat. Kaha Kim Yat Tat. Very strange format of names for the Lord. So you can have name. Yat Tat Sharma. Yat the first name, Tat the middle name, Sharma. Whatever name, whatever be the last name. Yat Tat Joshi. I should remember next time when people ask, Swamiji, please give unique name. That which nobody has ever used. You said that which nobody has used. Therefore, Tat. Yat, Tat. And they're very simple. Nobody can mispronounce it either. YAT. Yat. TAT. Yat, Tat. Anyway, enough of goofing around with those two names, Yat and Tat. Padam Anuttamam. What is Padam? See, this is the beauty of Adi Shankaracharya ji. If it is a single word, he would define it. If it is more than one word, he would define each word and then join them both to point at that which is to be pointed. So first he says, in this word there are two parts, Padam and Anuttamam. So let me first explain what is Padam. What is Padam? Padyate Gamyate Mumukshubhihi iti. Padyate gamyate, that which is walked towards. By who? Mumukshuvihi, sincere seekers. They come in different shapes, different forms, different kinds of seekers. But the one who is seeking that which is explained in the earlier word, tat, the path that they follow and the steps that they take towards. Therefore, padam. Anuttamam. Yasmat utkrishtam na asti tat. Anuttamam. What is anuttamam? There is nothing more greater than that lakshya, beyond which there is nothing more to be accomplished, nothing more to be seen, nothing more to be experienced. Whatever is that. Therefore, he is called Padam Anuttamam. See, many times when we have a headache, what do? We are given tiger balm. I have never had headache, because my belief is to have headache, you need to have head first. So those who have headache, they say they apply that tiger balm. I have applied tiger balm on other parts when there was a sprain or something. Then I realized as to why tiger balm is so effective. When Akbar had this lot of time on his hand, I suppose, he used to ask these questions to his courtiers, and he used to have a lot of time to pass. Time pass bahut karta tha. So one day on a wall, he draws a line and he says, without cutting it, without rubbing it, without removing it, how do you make it shorter? After everybody gets an opportunity, Birbal takes the chalk and again draws a bigger line. And he says, in comparison to this, that has become shorter. I have not touched it, cut it, rubbed it. There you go. Similarly is the technology of tiger balm. To forget that pain, you apply this tiger balm which burns you like anything. Now the burning is more tivra than the pain. So you forget the pain. So many times in life, what we do is to remove one kind of pain, we invite another kind of a pain which is bigger than what is. And zindagi chal raha hai. Wanted to have your own space, got into an apartment. It was becoming very small, crowded, and it was having its own pain. So how do you remove that pain? Buy your own bigger house, starting with the mortgage, everything else that has to be taken care of to fix it and to fill it in. Especially when you move from one house to another, then you realize how much of it was sitting there which was not necessary. But then we don't give up. Where does it go? Where does that all go? In the storage. Story of my life. So from this smaller pain, to remove this smaller pain, I invoke a bigger pain. The smaller pain is forgotten. I give the same logic when people on a coffee table, it is a fashion to bash India, of how corrupt it is, how polluted it is, how this it is, how that it is. So I said, that was the smaller pain. You replaced it with a bigger pain. In life, that has become a pattern. That we move from the pan into the fire. And we think that is the solution. Well, if at all there has to be a solution, the solution should be such that you don't have to search for another solution ever. And what is the greatest solution beyond which there is nothing higher or greater? That is that padam, that which is sought after by the seekers. Yasmat utkrishtam na asti. There is nothing beyond that. And where is it? It is our own true nature. In fact, I believe that every effort that we are trying to do out there in the world is to find this Uttama Pada. But then, the story of Dhruva is so beautiful. He had a father. What was his name? Dhruva. I know, Hiranyakashipu's story is my favorite. Actually, Prahlada's is my favorite. Hiranyakashipu happens to be the character there. But here, Dhruva, what is his father's name? Uttanapada. That pada, that it is the highest. Dhruva wanted to firmly reach there. He had two wives. Uttanapada had two wives. One was Suniti, the other was Suruchi. Suruchi will not allow you to get there. Who will help you get there? When your dhruvatva, when your firmness is born out of Suniti. That is when you can reach to the Uttama Pada, Uttana Pada. That is how he started. But then he realized, because it was in Satya Yuga, even Suruchi was a benevolent guide. She did not say, Kal muhe jamar. Don't ask me to translate it. What did she say? If you have to sit there, then you have to be born from my womb. He said, how can I achieve that? He said, go ask that Narayana. Even in her effort to not allow him, she gave him a method which was the most sacred method. That is where he gets the idea when he goes back to his mother Suniti and says, this is what mother said. Forget about the episode, but that last thing that she said, hold on to it. She gave you a good path. And what a brave mother. What did she send her son towards? Finding Narayana. One mother who knew how to raise the child. As an ideal, I'm not saying whether we are doing right or wrong, but one mother who did it right. That should be our ideal. And a 5-year-old she sends, go find. Yo bachcha hai. These things happen, cope up. No, go. That is what is the right thing to do. So that which is the highest ultimate by the seekers, and they strive towards finding it and abiding in it, and not with other temporary solutions. With these temporary solutions, when somebody says that, find tripti in it, What kind of tripti? From the pan I am into the fire. People say, adjust. This is how life is. Cope up with it. Probably they also intend good. What they are trying to say is, if you really feel that suffocated, find that which removes all this suffocation. And that is the Uttama Pada. Savisheshanam ekam nama padam anuttamam. Therefore, the name of the Lord is the highest, the Uttama. Nothing else is worth it. And there is a beautiful dialogue between Lord of Death, Yamaraji, and his favorite student, Nachiketas. After he insists on that third boon, after he tests him out, and he does not waver away from his main goal, main pursuit, then Yamaraji says, it's a very rare Guru Sishya, wherein that Guru is telling that Sishya very openly, Beta, as much as a Sishya is striving to find a Guru, even a Guru is searching for a good Sishya. And today, I think that desire is fulfilled to have a good Sishya. And then he continues to say that if only I had that wisdom which you have at your age, that wisdom if I had at that age, I would not have been stuck in this Yamapada. I did lot of tapas to come here. But having come here, I only realize what I have acquired, what I have achieved is not that ultimate, is not that great. So somebody said about all these successes and accomplishment that I did climb all the steps in the ladder to get to the wall of success, only to realize that the ladder was put on wrong wall. Because having reached there, it doesn't feel that complete. Only place where that completeness can be found is within oneself. And that alone can be called as spiritual effort, which takes us there. Anything else cannot be called as sadhana, and that individual cannot be called as sadhaka. Savisheshanam ekam nama padam anuttamam iti. And how benevolent is this Lord? He is also known as Loka Bandhu. I think that could be a good name for a brahmachari, right? Brahmachari Loka Bandhu Chaitanya. The next one also, Lokanath Chaitanya. We should write down all this and send. So who is a Loka Bandhu? Adhara bhute asmin sakala lokaha badhyante iti lokanam bandhuhu loka bandhuhu. Towards every aspect of creation, before I explain this, where does the Gayatri mantra where is it chanted with more intensity? Which part of the globe? India. It invokes, one aspect invokes Bhagavan Surya, sun. Does he send some special race to only India? And the rest of the places you don't invoke me enough. Therefore, bad race. If it were that kind of a vengeful God, then probably I would have become the first atheist. I would have first become an atheist. What kind of a Lokabandhu he is? He is that kind of a Lokabandhu wherein whether the child is a disciplined child or an indisciplined child of yours, don't you not take care of both of them equally? In fact, more with the indisciplined one, attention is paid. Why? Because the work has to be done more there. Similarly, since the entire world is supported by that Lord alone, he is the support, he is the substratum, he is the Mata, Dhata, Pita, he is the everything. Tvameva Sarvam, you are everything of this entire creation. Rest of the world, when you try to take support, in lieu of giving you that support, there's an anticipation built into it, isn't it? Friend in need is friend indeed. I am doing you this favor so that in times of need, you can have my back. And that fellow also pulls that back out. You said I can have your back. We feel disappointed. And in Chanakya Niti, he says, the worst enemy that an individual, a king or a establishment can have is that one who is already your friend now. Isn't it? That who is your friend today, for whatever reasons, falls apart, and that friend knows more secrets about you than anybody else. There's always that discrepancy that can happen. There's only one friend who accepts us as is. There's only one friend who does not have any kind of judgment, who does not misuse our request of help. And who is that? It is that Lord, because he is the only Bandhu. If at all we have to be attached to, after going through scriptures, I see 3 attachments valid: God, Guru, and scriptures. So if I have to make it like a rhyming, say G, God, Guru, and Gita. Shastra. These are the only 3 things that we can be attached to. In that Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, what is the name of it? Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Usually, wherever there is Vishada, it is an indicator of Roga. But then Arjuna's Vishada, it is not a Roga. It is called as the Yoga. What made his Vishada Yoga and not a Roga? That he did not seek support or help or refuge in the transient world, but instead he took that support and cried it out in front of the Lord. Therefore, his Vishada became Yoga. Do we go through our own personal Vishada? Who is the only one that can heal it? Whenever we go through our grief, pain, sorrow, misery, who is the only one that can heal it? God, and our love to that God alone heals. I don't know if in time it heals or not, but definitely in love to that Lord, definitely heals. Nothing else heals better than that. Because He is the only one that takes us as we are. So stop crying, saying that Bhagwan, मैली चादर ओढ़ के आऊं कैसे तेरे द्वार. There is that song. जलोटा भाई ने गाया उसको. Not the father Jalota, the son Jalota. मैली चादर ओढ़ के आऊं कैसे तेरे द्वार. Whenever I hear that, I feel like धो के आना यार. चादर मैली है तो धो लो थोड़ा. आंसू इतने बहा ही रहे हो तो आंसू में भी धो सकते हो. Clean it up, wash it up, and offer yourself surrender to that Lord, and He takes you in. He embraces you without any judgment. In fact, I would say, even if you have not washed, but if you have that Sharanagati, I've seen many times children love to be in water puddle. Even if that puddle is something that has been self-generated. अच्छा अब समझा, ठीक है. So what do they do in that puddle? They keep and the mother sees it. What does the mother do? Does the mother carry that baby like a gloves and then pick up like a kitten and then clean? No. Takes that child because my own extension. Similarly, the moment I surrender, He does not even calculate as to how was my past. That Bhagavan which is ready to give moksha even to those who have given Him galis, would He not give us moksha when we are praising Him? दम लगा के करना चाहिए. Does He answer our prayers? It depends on the strength of our prayer. Intensity with which we surrender. Loka Bandhu. He is the one who for the posterity of all of us has already given the directions, steps and methods that we can apply to reach Him. What is all the Shruti, Smriti, Itihasa, Purana? They are His visiting cards. Why do you give your visiting card to someone? Sometimes when people are pestering you and asking too many questions, to get rid of them, you give your visiting card. Call me, make some time and call me. अब मुझे परेशान मत करो, छोड़ो. Or if you are truly one who is trying to establish yourself, you give your visiting card, your business card, so that you tell them that these are the methods that I am available for you. Isn't it? Similarly, what are all these Shrutis? The one who has already with his compassion thought through what should be required for the posterity of all of us to be, and what methods, what processes that can be implemented by us to reach Him. He has already given them all. We don't need to reinvent anything. Just to understand and to be guided by those scriptures, the one who has already given that. That is His benevolence. Yesterday we were discussing when we listened to this Gurudwara, the Shabad Kirtan. when they have mastered how to plead to the Lord. बड़े भाव भरे होते हैं, not very music, there's just a harmonium and a tabla. In Urdu they call it kashish. उनके आवाज में कशिश होता है. There is that depth in it, that they're literally pleading that Lord. That, oh Lord, really come and save us. And he is that Loka Bandhu, the only Bandhu that in this Loka that we can trust. Rest of them, आते जाते रहते. They keep coming and going. Loka Bandhu. Why is he Loka Bandhu? Because he is Lokanatha. Lokanatha. Lokaihi nathyate yachyate lokan upatapati ashahate lokanam ishte iti va Lokanatha. See, because he is a Lokanatha. Try to imagine this. I'm sure you have raised your children, and when they were these 3-4 years old, you have taken them somewhere and they are walking, holding your hand, and suddenly there comes that time wherein they said, enough of walking. I do not wish to walk any further. And you as a mother or a father are not in a position at that point where to pick that child up and put them in the arm. So there is a little dialogue that happens. They say, Mama, please, no, chal. You are. And there comes a point of no return, wherein the child says, I am not moving from here. Just to give them the incentive that you will be gone if they don't move fast. You take the adjacent pillar and you hide behind, waiting for them to move. Where are they? Have they moved? They're your genetic order. They're equally, I didn't say it, you said it. They're equally stubborn. I mean, it's like completely new place. All these people, environment, surroundings, that kid has no introduction to. But in spite of such insecure environment, that kid doesn't move there and stands there waiting. Whose responsibility is it to get that kid back? Isn't it us, the parent, who has to go pick him up? So when we say Namah Parvati Pataye, you raise the hand. It is not just a purpose, just raising a hand. It's not a dance step. Raise your hand now. No. What does it mean? भैया मैं सारे ट्राई कर चुका हूं, अब मुझसे नहीं होता. Pick me up. Anyatha sharanam nasti. There is nowhere else that I can get this refuge. And you are the only one that is the refuge. Nathyate yachyate. When we ask of his help, ask with that ardrata, that compelling yachana. I don't know how else to put it. That he has no other choice but to come and pick you. But instead, when we go ask of his complete help. We have second, third, fourth, fifth alternatives. If he doesn't pick up, then I'll have this alternative, then I have that alternative, then I have sab chodo. Loka Natha. He is the Natha of this Loka. Thereby, you and I, whose responsibility are we? Did you and I ask for to be created? Right? We have been created. Whose responsibility are we now? The creators. अब आजा, देख ले. I funnily define bhakti as the heights of irresponsibility. If you understand it in the right sense. That it is not me who is responsible for this life, it is you who is responsible. I think it is Surdas ji who says, he says, come take me quickly, otherwise looking at me dance like a madcap. People will talk about you in a bad way. ये तो कृष्ण भक्त है. So the blame will be to you only. So if you want to maintain your name, come and pick me up quickly. And that attitude I love the most. I call it the bindas attitude. Bindas? No das of anything else. Only of that Lord. Everything else, been there, done that. No more das of it. It's your responsibility, come pick me up. Because you are the Lokanatha. Madhavaha. Madhavaha. Madhukule Jatatvat. The one who was born in the Madhukula, Madhu Vamsha. In the clan of Madhu. Yadava is the main umbrella. Within that there were various lineages. His lineage, he was born in the Madhu Vamsha. Therefore, he is called Madhava. And there are different definitions of it because Madhava, that name has come even earlier. But here we will define the meaning as the one who is born in that Madhukula of Yadava Vamsha. Now once we surrender to that Madhava with the attitude that I just explained, then we realize that he is Bhakta Vatsala. Snehavan, Bhakta Snehavan, Bhakta Vatsala. And when I say that he has to take care, I do not keep a stipulation that Bhagwan, you in this Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Garuda Ruda, in this format you come. That you have liberty to come however you wish to come. But this is my situation, you come take care. And he is the only बेसहारों का आसरा. मैं अनाथ, तू दीन अनाथ. मैं दीन, तू दीनानाथ. मैं अनाथ, अनाथों के नाथ तू. So you are the nath of this anath. There's nobody else who is giving that shelter or refuge. It's only you that gives that shelter and refuge. Bhakta Vatsala. The most endearing name. Who is that Lord that we worship? The one who is constantly in tune with his bhakta so that he can take care of them. And once that surrender happens, you will see that in different formats, he alone comes to take care. There's no doubt about it. I can give so many examples in my life that it was nothing other than him alone who could have been in that point. Unimaginable corners, it will happen. Bhaktavatsala. We'll continue tomorrow. Today is what, Thursday? We'll continue tomorrow. Om Shant Shant Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.